98, 99, 100. Oh, sorry. Are we filming? Oh. Wow. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. First off, I want to welcome you to Birth of a Salesman, the saga. This is chapter 3. They say the third time is the charm, but if you keep following these and my advice, you won't need to go past number 1. Today we're going to talk a little bit about several topics. We left off discussing more or less the introduction and how you start the call. And I want to thank everybody. We've had 800 YouTube hits to the videos, 1,200 website hits in a week, and that's been beyond my wildest expectations for this. And this project has taken on a life of its own. So I appreciate the support. That's definitely what gives me the motivation to keep doing it. So thank you very much, and all the best to each and every one of you. I'm going to talk about a few topics, but the big thing is how to go through undeterred. Because let's face it, that's how you're going to reap what you sow. That's how you're going to get the best possible returns off your investment, which is your time, your energy, and your efforts. But when you begin your day, it all starts. And you've got to go into it, get up early for one. I've seen far too many people scramble in right as the buzzer sounds. And that's not the way to get it done. Set your alarm for 30 to 60 minutes before you've absolutely got to be up. I used to get to work a couple hours early for lots of reasons. One, so I could get focused and figure out my strategy for that day. And that's what you really ultimately need to do. You've got to go into everything you do with a strategy. That's how you're going to find consistency, because consistency wins the race. I've worked in sales for 9 years. I've hired, managed, coached, developed hundreds, probably over 1,000 people in my day. And truth be told, I've seen a lot of flashes in the pan. You don't want to be that guy or gal. The truth be told, finding consistency is going to lie into sticking into what we talked about before, a heightened level of a sales flow. In order to do that, the big theme, going through undeterred, laying out an introduction that does not let your customer get a word in edgewise. You've got to dictate the flow of that call. Getting through, going to work with a set strategy and sticking to it, that's important, but you also you can't worry about what other people think about you. Trust me, if I worried about what other people thought of me, I would have gone and hid under a rock a long time ago. Truth be told, the more you achieve, the higher you get, the more anonymous haters you're going to encounter. You're going to work for those heinous dictators that lead through fear and intimidation. And you're also going to realize just how dirty the politics are of big companies. It's that simple. And you can either be squashed by that, or you can rise above it and be better than it and thrive in it. So truth of the matter is, I'm going to talk about a lot of those types of things, but today we're going to dive right back into the introduction. The biggest thing is when you dive into that introduction, you've got to give the opportunity. You can't give that opportunity for them to speak about what they want to speak about. You've got to give the opportunity to only talk about the answers that you want to hear. So if I make a phone call to a customer and I say, "Hi, my name is CARSON Heady. I'm calling today because on behalf of XYZ Vacuum Cleaners, I noticed that you don't have one of our cleaners. How are you currently sweeping your floor? How are you currently cleaning your floor?" That goes straight to the point. I've stated my business. I said who I am. I noted why I called in a very simple, brief snippet, and I went right into asking a question of how are you cleaning your floors. I need to know that. What I'm going to invariably do is I'm also going to find out who else lives in the household. Who are you putting in danger if you're not using my superior product? Do you have kids that are picking up items off the floor and eating them unbeknownst to you? You can't afford to not have the cleanest floors in town, and that's where my product is going to be the perfect fit for you. But it's all a process of getting there, and that's why doing the introduction the way that you do it is so important. People call all the time from all over the place, all types of establishments. So you're going to often encounter what's called the initial objection. A lot of times, customers are going to say things like, I get calls from you types of people all the time, or I hear from salespeople all the time, I'm not interested. You've got to get used to those types of things, and you've got to have an answer to every single one of them. What I recommend, the customer says, you guys call me all the time. People like you call me all the time. Exactly, Mr. Customer, I'm aware that our fly-by-night competitors call you regularly. And the reason I'm calling is to let you know who I am, what we do, to introduce myself and to let you know that we've got the superior product, and you can ignore those calls from them. How are you currently cleaning your floors? What I did there is I acknowledged what they said. You have to do that every time. You've got to acknowledge and empathize. Then I put it in its place, gently, I might add, and respectfully. And then I went forward and I asked my next agenda item, which is, how are you currently cleaning your floors? Truth be told, when people are asked a question, they typically answer. So when that customer says, well, I get down on my hands and knees and clean it, well, I'm going to save you a lot of aggravation, time, and wet wipes. And that's where I come into play. But that's how you get your strategy. And you didn't get deterred by the customer because, quite frankly, they didn't have the opportunity to interrupt you or taking it anywhere else.